realize your importance. You've only begun to discover your power. Join me, and I will complete your training. With our combined strength, we can end this destructive conflict and bring order to the galaxy.
I'll never join you!
You only knew the power of the dark side. Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father.
He told me enough! He told me you killed him!
No. I am your cheat codes.
No! Do I get to do that part? That's impossible!
You just did it. It's December 17th, 2015. Welcome to episode 76 of the Cheat Codes Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. We're glad you're with us. Maybe you're killing time in line for the Star Wars movie, maybe taking time out from holiday stuff. Whatever the case might be, welcome. The next hour is us drinking a few beers and going over our favorite bits from the past week in video game, tech, and pop culture news. My name is Joe Erskine. I am your host, and we're coming to you from the snowy planet of Hoth, where the Tauntauns are the next best thing to sleeping bags.
I get it. That's too dark, dude.
Today, I am here with Cheat Codes producer and editor, Mr. Joe, scruffy-looking nerf herder Arroyo.
Hey. I wasn't expecting that one. That's pretty good.
Cheat Codes contributor, Mr. Nick. I've got a bad feeling about this goalish.
I got a bad feeling about this?
Yeah. And we're joined by longtime Cheat Codes pal and troublemaker, developer at Soulbound Studios, Nathan, never tell me the odds, Hitchcock.
I'll take those odds.
Yeah, boy. Today in the show, we're going to force choke the following main topics. What's better than being game designers? Well, probably being game designers on a boat. 100 Rabbits, IGF nominees, FYI, are taking to the seas to make games based on their travels and possibly carve out a niche for themselves, leave a trail of quality content in their wake. I'll be here the whole hour, you guys. Don't worry.
Wake is a boat pun, guys. Wake is a boat pun.
Is online poker your thing? Do you spend a few weeks every week on DraftKings? Have you been yearning for a way to bet on MOBA matches? A new service called BlackFlag is here to scratch your itch. I feel like this is what the game devs on a boat should have called themselves.
Still going.
Yeah. For many incarcerated individuals, games are becoming a way to mentally escape from their day-to-day experience. Some are even making games. There's a behind health bars joke here somewhere. I just having trouble finding it. For today's lightning round,
That's messed up.
For today's lightning round, we're gonna laugh it up fuzzball style about the following bits. A clever little app bypassed the strict iOS submission policy disguised as a Flappy Bird clone, when in fact it's a weed scale. Don't worry, we'll explain. The Kojima Konami soap opera has taken a bit of a positive turn this week. After much ado about a whole lot that we still don't know about, Kojima-san is finally out of the clutches of longtime employer Konami. After catering some potential partnerships from all over the gaming world, he has officially opened the doors in his own studio. So, finally some good news to come out of this whole mess. In regards to beer and what we kind of do here. So, obviously there's a Star Wars theme on the show today.
You don't say.
But what does one drink with Star Wars themed anything, let alone a podcast? Blue milk? Whatever swill that's served in a desert cantina? We're not sure either, but for the purpose of consistency, we'll be enjoying some Wookiee Jack, a black rye IPA from the fine folks at Firestone Walker down in
Paso Robles.
Thank you.
I didn't know you were gonna do
California. I didn't either, but I was like, I'd rather have you do it than me butcher it. Alcohol is actually the only thing I can think of that Star Wars isn't marketing with right now. So at least somebody covered this base, I guess.
Not yet. Did anyone see the Star Wars oranges meme?
I did. There's like a Star Wars grapes.
Oranges.
It's grapes too with Yoda on it and shit. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Buy the Star Wars oranges.
I honestly, there was a part of me as a kid that was like, I can't wait till Star Wars is everywhere and like on everything, and like I feel like I got my wish. And now I feel bad about that.
You feel like you should have been a better wish?
I should have what you wish for. Exactly. I should have been real careful about that. Nate, welcome back, buddy.
It's good to be back.
Yeah, man.
I missed you guys.
Catch us up a little bit. What do you graduated?
Yep, graduated.
Where are you working? What are you doing?
Working at Soulbound Studios, making an MMORPG called Chronicles of Elyria. It is a low, mid, high fantasy game. Somewhere in the spectrum.
Is that the whole spectrum?
Yeah,
basically, yeah.
Okay.
It's an RPG.
Okay.
So you play as a character, you build an empire, fight people.
Do you ride dinosaurs?
What?
Do you ride dinosaurs?
No, this is not Ark Survival. But it's close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe in a future patch.
How far? Can you talk about how far along you guys are?
I don't know if I can go into too much detail.
You don't have to.
But,
no one's gonna make you.
But we are planning to be at PAX East, I think is what we're going for.
Cool.
So, yeah.
With just like a
playable demo,
a slice, yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
And for the listener, if you're interested, they actually update a dev blog pretty much once a week.
Yeah,
they're very public about the dev cycle so far as I've seen. As a fellow.
Throw out the Twitter handle, man. Throw out the website.
The game is pretty much like community driven. It's really important. Like basically, we're trying to make a medieval sim almost that revolves completely around the community. So we have a forum at chroniclesofelyria.com. We also have an IRC channel on Quake IRC and what was that thing called? There's like a I forget. There's another chat client that we're using. And the Twitter is #Chronicles of Elyria. We have a Facebook page for Chronicles of Elyria and for Soulbound Studios where we release updates on all the dev journals and videos and stuff and images. So, yeah.
Can you speak specifically to your role on this team?
I'm working on the client.
Okay.
So like all client-side stuff, pretty much. Yeah, so like all... I guess I'm implementing the combat, the movement, the crafting systems. Yeah.
The game.
The game. Pretty much the game. Yeah.
Nate's our humblest guest.
Yeah.
You're doing it all.
Pretty much.
Yeah. We had the great pleasure of working with Nate all through school. So
yeah. So they know how I do everything. Yeah. Just give me a
hot swap.
Put me in a direction.
Yeah, like hot swapping.
Yeah, what I'm curious about is actually, are there any old like Muffin Express assets getting used?
Oh yeah. So
builds?
So that muffin crate that we had that you guys from Muffin Express. Yeah. That's our crate texture.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Yeah. And you play as a little chef and a little engineer in a chef hat. I think. And you hop on boxes.
Somehow we lost the train of medieval thought here.
Yeah. That
oh no, it's medieval, but you're just a medieval. Chef. Medieval trained chef.
As far as I know, you guys have like an incredibly active community, right?
Yeah, 15,000 members, and we have like 20 people or so in the IRC chat that are like constantly chatting about stuff. So it's fairly active, and we like to, because the game basically revolves around it can't work without a really active, invested community. So we're really trying to grow the community and make sure the community's like we're on the same level and we're communicating openly with them. So
what are you guys doing to sift through all of that community information and actually put to use like the cream that's floating to the top, like the things that are most important or talked about, like
actually
sifting through all that?
So far, I mean, as far as sifting through the community generated content, as far as like forum posts and stuff, actually the community's done a really good job at self-moderation, which if you think about this kind of game, it's kind of like essential. Like if the community can't self-moderate, then the game almost can't work. You have to have people that are like people willing to make the laws and be like the law enforcers. So far,
self-policing community.
Yeah, we with the community. The community's actually done a really good job for being so large. We've actually had an incredibly positive response of people like kind of quieting the naysayers, or at least addressing the naysayers' concerns, and discussing ideas and stuff in a collaborative manner, which actually surprised me. Like we actually had a bet, me and the other dev, Jeremy Caspian is what he goes by on the forums. We bet. I think that humanity has a darker side, and if inevitably we will fall to our darker side, and it will become a kind of a warring,
Lord of the Flies type situation.
But very competitive and aggressive environment. And he's like, no, goodness will succeed. And
so you guys thank you for keeping the Star Wars theme going.
Yeah. So I think the dark side will inevitably consume.
I just got a weird image of you, sitting on the shitter, just scrolling through 1,000 emails and being like that.
No,
sure, file that one.
No,
that's important.
I don't know. I mean, we stay
can
on
you
the
swipe
forums.
right on comments?
I don't want to meet up with my comments.
Well,
I want to make intimate love with some of these comments. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Some of them are very, very.
I would say, I was like, you're being kind of hard on your community, but I think you just made up for it right there.
Yeah. I mean, they showed me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, welcome back, buddy.
Thanks.
It's been a long time.
Good to be back. I missed you guys. It's been like what? I think the 50th episode, right?
Yeah, 26 episodes since
20,
you were.
Yeah, it's quite a while.
It's a substantial amount of time.
That's a third of the almost.
A third of the
almost. You heard me.
All right, let's get down to business here. Topic number 1 today comes from an article by Clinton and Nguyen. I probably didn't say that right, but
it's just Win.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Over at Motherboard, which is a Vice offshoot, but he wrote an article talking about a couple of game designers that basically got rid of all their crap, bought a boat, set sail, and decided they were going to have a bunch of adventures and make games about those adventures. They've had some success so far. They have a studio called 100 Rabbits. They released a game a couple years ago that was nominated at the IGF festival, and we're happy to have Nate here today because I'm kind of curious. Nate happens to live on a boat.
I don't know if you guys know this, but I live on a boat.
And although I'm pretty sure maybe you do some work from the boat sometimes.
I actually over the summer I did a lot of work on the boat.
No. I mean like work. Not like work on the
from
boat.
the boat.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
On the game.
During summer.
I did a lot of work on the boat. Like I was, I painted it.
Right.
Yeah.
Re-lacquered the wood. It's all good. Yeah.
I actually don't do any work for Chronicles of Elyria. I just pretty much work on my boat all the time.
They just pay me to
They just pay me to work on my boat, and look good. But I actually I work from the boat.
Okay.
Yeah. So I actually ended up buying a 4G hotspot, like a jetpack, so I could work from anywhere. So I could sail out into the middle of the sound and.
Not a real jetpack.
Not a jetpack.
No. It's called a jetpack.
No, I was trying to think about how I could work in like a Boba Fett reference for a second, but then I
it's
passed
gone.
on it.
It's best if you don't.
So I did some work from the boat, and
What's that like?
it's all right. I mean, it's the boat. There aren't very many distractions on a boat. Think about like if you're at home and you have like family or your friends around, or like you're on land and you can just get up and go somewhere. But when you're on a boat, especially if you sail out somewhere and anchor, you're there, and you'd have to sail to get back.
True. Yeah.
So you're pretty much invested in doing whatever you're gonna do there for a while. So it was nice to like get away and like be able to just focus on something.
I just have whenever I played Ark with you a little bit, a little while ago, maybe a month or so.
Yeah.
And I just have this like vision of you like rocking back and forth, like trying to like.
Oh yeah. So this great thing happens. You basically like your equilibrium just decides to work on the ocean, and you stop feeling the sway. And it's great when I have people over because they're like, well, how do you like function this much like rocks? And I'm just like, I just don't even notice it. Like I could get up. It's almost like your natural sway when you walk just becomes like the boat sway. And so
so do you have some swagger in your land walk
swagger?
now?
You guys swagger.
He's got sea legs, man. Yeah, that's what it is.
Salty sea legs.
So what? Do you have your second monitor like bolted down to the desk or something?
I don't have a second monitor anymore. I was on the boat. I do at work, but so I don't work on the boat anymore because we got like a temporary office and we're getting a permanent office pretty soon here. Mm-hmm. But on the boat, it's like you can't have it would fall over.
Yeah, that's why you got to bolt everything down.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So if I have a monitor mount bolted to the hole, and it would come out like 5 feet, and then that'd be where my monitor goes, and nobody would be able to walk anywhere because it would definitely restrict. Yeah, it'd be like a wall basically. Yeah.
Okay.
So this reminds me of like I guess the way you described it, even just like it reminds me of like a writer like going out and like sailing the world and writing their story or something. These guys are they're game designers instead, and they go out and they're making games going around the world,
influenced by their experiences.
These guys are making games based on their experiences.
Yeah, which is kind of
like
cool.
Writing stories. It's kind of like
they're not like direct, like this is us like sailing to Hawaii or something. It's like they make games, but these games might be influenced based on some of their experiences.
Same thing with the way music works. A lot of people's sophomore and junior albums are not particularly good according to the community because they didn't have any experiences between their entire life before their freshman album that created that masterpiece of emotion,
and then touring for the first
right, and then there's just this thing where they wrote songs from then forward, and bands like No Doubt would actually move to each like a different location, and each album they have would be inspired by that. So they spent a bunch of time, I think, in either Jamaica or Hawaii. Don't quote me on that.
Rocksteady they did.
Yeah. And so then they would set up shop in there with a studio there, and then they would live for a while, hang out, have some experiences to build off of, and it would inspire them to write songs.
It would inform the album,
yeah, it's not like they're going to make song or games about sailing per se. It's just going to be like they're going to have some fucking cool experiences between their trips between here and San Francisco, and stuff's going to happen. It's going to give them a crazy idea. It's going to just build up inspiration because you're being forced out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. It's like living out of a van, but your van is on the water.
It's a van that floats.
Right. Floating, large van.
The thing that I liked about this the most was the article kind of does a weird job about kind of explaining how this, I'm not sure if they're a couple or not, but they might be. But they talked about their inspiration from other Patreons that kind of inspired them to kind of like get out from behind a desk, get out from behind a cubicle or an office, kind of, and change up the way that they knew that they could work remotely. You know what I mean, with their expertise. And I think one's an illustrator and an artist, and the other is more kind of like from the dev side of things, and with like iOS and web development. And they just decided that it was time to. They're based out of Vancouver, I think, originally, and then but they've kind of traveled all over anyway. Like, you know, Wanderlust is not an unfamiliar, you know, concept to these two, I guess, from what it sounds like. But
Vonderloost, yeah.
Vonderloost, exactly. This title? Maybe title.
Vonderloost
with a V.
But what's cool is that they just wanted to change it up. They wanted to like not be sedentary. They wanted to not be locked into an office anymore. You know what I mean? So they did something about it, which is like, especially for this kind of work, I think a lot of the time that's either the stereotype or at least like, you know, the honest to God truth about, you know, you basically sit at a computer all day long. You know what I mean? Whether it be a laptop or some kind of desktop, you know, terminal or whatever, you just gotta, if you're not careful, like that stuff can take a toll on you. You know what I mean? So I think it was cool they actually kind of did something about it. It just spoke to me largely. So I liked it.
Is this what you want to do? You want to get on a boat?
Get on a boat
with your kid and your wife.
If I was childless at this point, it would be a more realistic fantasy. This is not a realistic fantasy for me at this point.
Yeah. Well, I gotta. This is something I kind of want to do. Also, like be on a boat at some point. My sister talked me out of it because
I'm a trendsetter.
She said it was a bad idea, and I was like, okay, maybe, but.
You could do something like that in Seattle, though. You can go buy like with the houses that are like built on the docks and stuff.
Yeah,
floating house stuff. Yeah,
it'd be fun.
You could totally do that.
Yeah,
that's more like a yeah. That'd be a little easier to adapt to. I think there's more space on the house barges and
a slow rock at night.
Yeah, it's barges rock a little less, but like sailboats are gonna
give you some left to right.
Yeah, and there's no internet.
I don't know. It's not as much of a problem for me. I'm pretty good at living in small spaces. I guess you could say. I don't know, but it's. How can you have a guest over? Like it's a lot harder to like have like house parties or something. You can't do stuff like that.
But that's not the goal of that individual.
I understand that. Yeah,
I think in all things there's a sacrifice here. I think you're highlighting like you can't. I'm sure they're not like docked somewhere and they're not standing in line to go see Star Wars right now. They might be. I'm just saying like, but you give up some of those kind of day-to-day stuff that maybe you and I trivialize or take for granted. But it's like when you're on on the water for 2 weeks, it's kind of like. The fuck do you do with yourselves? Well, I guess you work on games, right?
Trust me, guys. I entertain just fine.
Yeah.
What? I don't know what that means.
You don't worry about it.
You live with your brother.
And we're very entertaining. Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, smoking jackets and snifters and the whole deal. Yeah. Great.
Okay. The one leather recliner that we have on.
Right.
On their website, one of the things I saw that was pretty cool is they're documenting their journey. This is a part of the Patreon that they set up that's at about $400 a month right now, which is going to be able to pay for. Is it much higher? What?
$450.
Yeah, you could say it. You have a microphone.
Well, you were talking. I didn't interrupt you.
I appreciate it. He was hand signaling to me the number. That's fine. I said over 400, so maybe if I didn't,
you're still accurate.
Bucket. Anyway, they have money to dock because of their Patreon account, and that's pretty cool. So that lets them wander to start out. But if you go to the website as well as a part of it, you can see what their journey is. There's like a big timeline that has nodes on it that shows they're going to be sailing from here to here at this date. And you can keep an eye on the way the trip is, to document the journey, to give people an idea of the experience that they're having, to be very public about it in this public forum sense, so that hopefully, if all goes well and they prove that it's possible in this capacity, in this society that we're in, that they might actually get more individuals to just basically their perfect world is like yacht clubs of game developers.
Yep.
That are just everybody's on a boat fucking making games.
Think of the way I envision it is more like the Dennis Hopper pirate armada from Waterworld.
Yeah, game dev.
Right, game dev, but they just smoke cigarettes and wear fucking chin straps for eye patches and
developed web.
What are they called? Burners?
Because they're about to oil.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like you can join their armada essentially of game dev pirates, which sounds kind of great.
Waterworld was so great.
It was so not.
You and I'll talk about this later. Yeah, that's fine. I don't necessarily disagree with you. That's okay.
But, they made a Disney attraction about it. It's true. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm glad this topic came up because the fact that we happen to know.
When I saw this article,
yeah, who
like
lives on a boat.
yeah, I'm
I'm
like,
down.
we had to get Nate for this episode.
I'd join a yacht club if it was free, but it's the yacht club, so it's not free.
free.
Well, you can start a Patreon to get funds for a yacht club.
For a yacht club.
Start a Patreon to join
adventure.
the 100 Rabbits Studios yacht club.
Why don't when they're coming to Seattle in I think February when I saw on the timeline.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure because then they're going from Seattle to San Francisco for GDC.
That's actually I was planning on sailing to GDC also.
So you should send them a note and you guys should go as a fucking fleet.
Oh my
of game
God.
developers. Find a couple
my
more,
God.
right? And then you guys all just kind of travel together.
I don't think you understand how much finding a couple more, like, that's not a small task. But it's
Who
a start.
knows?
Well, yeah, I mean, we could definitely...
There was just one, and now there's two
Now there's
all of a
two.
sudden.
That's-
So
yeah.
That's a pretty good increase.
That's a fleet.
That is a fleet.
it's more.
Yeah.
It's,
Wait, what is the definition of a fleet? I know
More
it's
than
not
one.
two, but
I'm not
More
sure
than
it's two.
one.
It was
It's-
fun anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, more than one.
It's only more than one, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're
I
good
don't
now.
think so.
Yeah. You're right. We're in Armada right now. I think it's more than 100 as a fleet.
I think you're two boats.
Armada's larger than a fleet.
I think they
You
could
think
call
so?
you
Yeah.
two boats.
Armada
Okay.
is like.
We can be plural at least, right? We can be.
I think
boats.
Armada is kind of like the word for an entire
For multiple
naval
fleets?
force.
Yeah.
Like, maybe not.
Well,
I don't know.
maybe, yeah. Call to action, right? A fleet of game dev ships travel from Seattle to GDC.
Yeah.
It's a small trip. It's not terrible as far as coastal journeys go.
Dude, I will fucking go with you. It'd be awesome.
It might be scarier than you think. Like
I imagine it
a
would
30-foot boat in 30-foot waves is kind of
Yeah, terrifying.
Terrifying.
30-foot waves. If you're in 30-foot waves, that's
You're-
kind of really
that's
scary.
that's coastal. Like as soon
6-foot
as
waves
you're-
are pretty scary.
If there's a point at any
30-foot waves.
I know.
Where I'm
you
still
heard me.
talking
You
about
heard
like
me.
North Shore in Hawaii during the winter.
No,
Fuck that.
this is Pacific Ocean. Like we will get torn to shit.
Yeah, I'm not going with you anymore.
Okay.
I'll go on record right now and say I will make this journey with you at some point in the future.
Okay.
I'll tie you to the mast.
Yes. Well, no, I would.
It'll be safe,
I
trust
like
me.
being on boats. Like, I think it's kind of cool when like the waves are big enough that like, when you dip down.
I mean, boats are meant to survive that usually.
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
But when you look around because you're at the bottom of the crest of two waves and there's still water on both sides of you.
Yeah.
But you're not like wet. Like that's kind of a fascinating thing to me. So.
Oh, I'm always.
That's not how it starts, though. Usually, you're going out, and it's the 6-foot waves that like knock your boat like
Yes.
over.
Well,
You're not
sure.
to the point where your boat can sit in between the crest of a wave and on.
I
Like,
mean, for a second maybe, but then
Right.
you're
It's
back up the
it's
side.
not a very
and-
long. It's not a long experience.
Yeah,
But
and then-
and then you're knocked on your ass.
it's a long, it's a long experience
And
on a
then-
sailboat that
right.
goes 6 knots.
And then
Yeah,
and then you're Tom Hanks in
also-
Castaway. That's how that happens.
Also, a boat's max speed is pretty much like 6 knots. Like if you get to 12 knots, your must be pretty
So how,
heavy
if you're
winds.
going that
Yeah.
fast, how long is it gonna take you? How long would it take you to get to San Francisco from Seattle?
Well, it's basically walking. So or jogging, I guess. 6 knots is about 6 miles per hour. So you're like jogging there.
So 2 weeks.
So
At
like,
least.
a couple weeks.
Yeah.
yeah.
fuck.
I think the
Ain't
tough
no one got
part's
time for that.
the tougher part's like getting enough materials to survive
Well, you,
that long.
you would obviously be
at
making
sea.
stops
Yeah, that
along
too.
the way.
I'd avoid it.
Why?
I don't know, because it'd be cooler. to
You're
get
not the
one
first
go.
person. I'm sure that there's like plenty of ports that you
Well,
can stop.
oh
and, like-
yeah, yeah. I mean, you can
Yeah,
stop.
you got to consider
but
people like try to
you
cross
could,
oceans by themselves.
But yeah, people like
they can
yeah,
go 2 weeks across.
You just gotta be really
Right.
efficient with your space utilization and be able to cram lots of food in places that
Yeah.
food.
Eat your brother if you get desperate.
Or yeah, people.
That's the only reason you live with him, right? It's just in case you get
He's
stranded
my,
somewhere
he's
and
my
need something to
organ
eat.
backup. Like,
Yeah.
I'm either gonna eat him or he's gonna lose his kidney and I'm gonna take it.
You're gonna put his kidney into yourself on
Yeah,
the boat.
I'm either gonna eat it or it's going into me after I drink my kidney to death. Yeah.
Okay.
All that
That's not how
medical
kidneys
equipment
work,
you'd
but-
bring to pull that off, you could have replaced that with, I don't know, provisions that didn't
just
require
just
that
supplies.
outcome.
All I need is a scalpel.
Wow. Okay.
Some
I'll
bread,
get you.
probably.
I'll get you. I'll get you a box cutter for Christmas. Okay.
Thanks, bro.
So speaking of pirates, this isn't related to pirates at all, but there's a company named BlackFlag.
No, it's good.
Yeah, right? Yeah, kind of. Where it's a new service being launched out of Evolve Labs, which is based out of Minneapolis, in Minnesota. It's a twin city to St. Paul.
Yeah.
But yeah. They revealed a new esports service called BlackFlag, where players can compete in League of Legends matches for cash prizes. It's a $5 entry fee per thing, 5v5 matches, as most people who play League of Legends are familiar with.
Sounds
And
illegal.
well, it's funny you say that. So this reeks of gambling. Although the loophole here is that because League of Legends is a skilled game, you are allowed to.
It's like pinball.
So they are operating under the exact same loophole that allows sites like DraftKings for the NFL, fantasy betting. I can't use the word betting because that's not.
It's not. It's not betting.
But
no,
it's fucking betting on your fantasy team.
Right.
Because apparently, it's a game that requires a certain amount of skill.
The stat aggregation requires skill.
Enough for them to develop the loophole and to
I don't play a lot of League of Legends. But in fact, I haven't played it in maybe twice in my entire life. But I imagine that there's a very little amount of randomness involved in the game when it comes to picking players.
Most certainly a game of skill. Yes.
Right.
I would say the most random part is pubbing, like getting a random.
Well, that's fine, but I'm saying it. But playing League of Legends is not like pulling the arm of a slot machine.
No, it's not.
This is what makes it different.
Actually, no. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, good talk. They're already boasting 250,000 players playing about 750,000 matches a month. The founder CEO Adam Selke. A lot of the names today are kind of rough. But recently we participated in a series of AMAs where the idea was embraced by an audience of gamers expressing an overwhelming interest in a competitive gaming service. So we fast-tracked the idea and turned it into a reality. There's been plenty of community demand for this, apparently.
Can we back up a little bit?
Sure.
And I want to field this to see if you guys remember the site name. There was already a gambling site for video games that was around for a while.
This is
Is it Salty
But
Bet?
there were multiple games on there.
Is it Salty Bet?
Tons of them, and you would bet on one of them. It wasn't.
This is
Salty Bet?
this is different. Like the way you explain it, it makes it sound very much like gambling. I think.
Yes.
But the way I read it was, I'm not gambling on games. I'm paying $5 to play a game, and then
hopefully
I could win a
and then I
pool
might
by
get some-
winning
right.
or something. So
that's gambling. That's
Putting money
what
in to get money
you do
out.
at the poker
It doesn't feel-
tournament, which is gambling.
it doesn't sound like gambling though, because you said it's a skill based game and everything. I'm not.
So is poker.
I'm not
Texas Hold'em.
Yeah.
I'm not
poker,
betting. I'm not betting on a game. I'm paying an entry fee and winning a prize if my
That
team
is
wins.
Texas Hold'em when you play a tournament style
And
and
I
you
don't-
buy into the game
But
and then you win the
your
prize.
point to the way
pool.
I worded it is correct. Like
And
I made it sound more like
that's still
gambling.
I don't think playing Texas Hold'em like that is gambling. I think playing DraftKings is gambling, but I don't think playing
DraftKings is paying $5 to take your team against other teams
Keep in
and
mind,
then win a prize.
there are
pool.
more. There's more.
I need to know how this is
Hold
different.
on. Stop. There's
you
more
can't-
than one. There's more than one way to gamble. Okay.
Yeah, there definitely is, but it's odd because when I actually suggested this topic, I think, and when I read it, I can definitely see the parallels to gambling in this.
Yeah.
But I didn't think that this was gambling. I think like this could spiral out of control and become gambling or something. But
It can't become
It's just-
gambling, at least not in the biblical sense, because otherwise they wouldn't be able to exist.
this
in
is
the
like
first
paying
place.
$5 to go enter a Pokemon like card contest or
Sure.
something, and taking home $20 because you won or something.
Yeah.
You play a game of League, and it's kind of cool that they're involving money in it, and it's making it more accessible, and some people to actually like maybe make money off of playing this game,
You mean other than being a pro at it?
other than being a pro. Because
Right.
like right now, it's like you can play it casually, or you can be a pro and spend your entire life playing the game just so you can win like $100 million, which is ridiculous.
So
Not that much, but
to be clear, I agree with you.
Yeah.
All right, and I also like the idea of Hold'em. I know Hold'em is a skilled sport. It's something that I played quite a bit of and enjoyed a lot. At the end of the day, the people who are the best at it are the people who limit the amount of gambling that they actually do in the game, if that makes sense.
Right. You're not playing the table. You're playing the people.
But by gambling, the idea of what gambling is, all of that is gambling from a high level. That's what it is. You're gambling on your abilities to be better at this game than somebody else. What separates blackjack from pulling the lever on a thing? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Fine. I have one more.
I'm listening.
No, I can understand that. Like gambling, I guess, is I'm putting money down, trying to get money back based on something, I guess.
And
that in a
can be
nutshell
your
is
skill.
gambling. That's
Exactly.
gambling.
Yeah.
That's
so
gambling.
when I play the stock market, I'm gambling.
Yes.
When
Yes. Yeah.
100%.
Yes.
It's legalized gambling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Investing in a startup.
So
I'm
to
not
be
saying
clear,
I'm not saying that you're wrong, but the
Yeah,
way
no,
you're
no.
describing it is exactly what gambling is. If
I
you
get-
put money in to hope you get more money back, that's gambling.
Yeah, but I guess there's there's like a negative side of gambling and there's a positive side.
Yes.
And
There
it's
is.
like,
Sure, there is. There are more finer points to it, and I'm being like very broad stroke here. But that's,
And you're talking about the positive side of it. Like at least it's in a capacity where they're proving they have to be good at it, which means you have to practice. You have to become good at it in order to get money back. But the question I'm curious about is, do you know that you said like paying $5 to go to a Pokemon tournament, right?
Yeah.
And then you might win prizes and stuff.
Yeah.
Did you know that Texas Hold'em, because of the laws in the country, you cannot pay real money to play that game anywhere unless you're in a casino that has a gambling license. You have to play for free at a bar down the street. You cannot have a buy-in for real money, but they can give you prizes. So
not cash though.
So, but why is that different then? Why did they say that's gambling? I can't even buy in at a local bar.
I feel like that has more to do with like a liquor and gambling commission than it does about.
I feel like the whole like
it's gambling.
No,
right?
I agree. I'm not saying that you're wrong. Like, but somebody's got some sort of lobby group somewhere.
I think it's
some part arm of the
So
government.
why is this allowed?
I think
Why
it's a
is
good
legal
comparison, and
Loophole.
it's a good comparison, and may deal with the same issues that online poker had, where online poker, you played it for a while, where you put in some money into a pool and into your account.
Mm-hmm.
You pay the service $1 for every $100 you spend or something. I don't know what it is. You win some money occasionally, but the service is always making money off of everybody. And that's kind of what DraftKings does, and that's what this could turn into, where essentially like the players are just paying the company to play their game and maybe making a win out of it or something. Like the whole problem with
That's always how.
Yeah, but,
I know, but
that, the way online poker worked, at least the way I understand it, we're talking like 10, 15 years ago, because all that shit was offshore. It was all offshore.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like when they started cracking down and like nobody got their money back because, and that's what happened. I don't know if that actually happened to you exactly, but
hundreds of dollars, luckily not thousands, was frozen in the whole full tilt fiasco.
It's a positive outlook on that.
yeah, and that
I mean, other people had a fuckload
A lot more.
than that.
Yeah, I believe it.
and that's definitely something that could happen with this, but it's still kind of cool to, I don't know, like maybe I thought the same thing when Diablo 3 came out. They had the online auction or something
auction house,
where you could actually you could sell the items you made and actually get back real money from it or something. But it didn't work out well for them. It might work out well for this, but I don't know. Like,
I'm kinda
is the
curious
government going to steal my assets again or something?
We keep making this comparison to DraftKings, and like they've already like state of New York, that you can't use it. Cuomo decided that it was it's
And
essentially
this is
gambling. You know what I mean?
happened to the video game service that I was just mentioning earlier that none of us can seem to remember now? So we'll look it
Which
up.
video
and
game
post-
service?
There already was one like
For
5 years
gambling?
ago.
Okay.
You could pick any. There were no. Okay, maybe is that one?
It was a gambling site. I don't know if
Based
you
on video
got
games.
real money. Yeah, it was like fighting games. Like the fighting games would just stream over. Like it
No,
was popular.
This was for real money. You deposit it into an account just like you do with the
Like a
poker
PayPal
accounts,
thing or
things like
something?
that.
Yeah.
And then there are matches you can see. There are specific games that were in it. It was like Madden, Halo, and a couple like other ones.
Street Fighter.
And you can go into it, and then when you say I want to play 1v1 matches, they'd even have in there. And I'd drop $5, and you'd drop $5, and the winner would walk away with like $9.50, and they'd take 50 cents from the game. So it was there, and it started to get banned in certain states. It was actually never available in Arizona, so I never had the opportunity to even mess around with it. Other than the fact
Never had the opportunity. I'm making air apostrophes right now.
I don't
Air
get
quotes?
it. I really
Air
didn't.
quotes.
I knew of the site and
air
I was
quotes.
interested in it. I was hoping it might come out because I do like the idea of this whole thing where you have skill and you want to play for money. That's fine. It's still gambling.
Yeah.
I don't understand why some services can and some services can't.
Well, it's
I don't
whatever
grasp the
loophole.
loophole.
I don't either. I don't know. I'm not like I'm not savvy on this either. I'm not sure why DraftKings works in some places and doesn't in others. But go ahead.
if you think online poker was shut down for these reasons, do you think this is going to get shut down at some point in the
absolutely.
future?
If DraftKings is on the way, why is this any different? The loophole is being closed, so why would they? What other loophole are they finding that these other ones didn't have? I think they're operating under that loophole right now.
I don't think we're going to see DraftKings go anywhere anytime soon.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
They have a huge amount of backing from like prominent like sports team like the owners of not to say that BlackFlag falls on this at all, and I'm sorry if we got off topic here, but we are making a correlation to a certain extent. Owners of like the Patriots, owner Dallas football, Dallas Cowboys, what's his name? Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
Like they're all backers of DraftKings. So if they have enough lobbying power and
Jerry
enough
Jones
money,
is also senile, so I wouldn't really
Look.
like.
Ooh, shots fired.
okay. But I'm saying that there's enough. Like if they can buy enough lobbying power as well within the
I get
government to kind of like make sure that it doesn't get completely shut down to protect their investment. You know what I mean? So
Is it?
It might, but I'm not seeing it go anywhere.
Full Tilt and these poker sites were backed by the biggest poker stars in the industry who were multimillionaires.
Yeah,
and
but
they
you
still
take,
couldn't do anything.
You
about
take
that.
all the poker stars in the world for all they've made. Like
and you get one Jerry Jones.
You get one Jerry Jones. That's my point. Yeah,
Okay, I get you.
Okay.
I get you.
But like owner of the Patriots, same. He's in on it too. Like there's a lot of people that have like a lot of investment, and that's why you see DraftKings everywhere. Like their marketing has put them as such kind of like a very impermanent but very definite stamp. You know what I mean? So we'll see. You might be right. They might get shut down, but I think that they have a lot more. They've put their hooks in deep enough to a certain extent, but that they may evolve as a company to a certain degree. But I'm not sure they're going to go anywhere.
Is this a good thing? Like,
well, that's in returns in terms of BlackFlag. Like I think we're going to see as esports gets bigger and bigger, and the whole MOBA thing and the access to it and people's interest in it continues to grow. If this iteration of esports gambling or not gambling but still wagering money doesn't succeed, we're going to see one take its place.
and it's kind of weird because the way I view this is more of like making a little bit of extra money off of my hobby in a way. Like
Sure.
like
Or
if
losing a little bit of extra
or losing
money off
but
your hobby.
like is it gambling for some housewife to spend all this money to make a quilt and then take it to a quilt show and try to sell it? And that's her hobby or anybody's hobby, and they're spending their own money to try to make some gain off of it. Maybe not even, but is that different than spending a little bit of money to play a video game, which would be my hobby, and maybe making a little bit of money off of it?
What you're describing, and you're absolutely right. This is why this gray area is ridiculous, right? It's like saying I gambled because I invested a bunch of money in my college education that I now owe back.
Yeah.
So now did I get anything in return? Is the hopes that I would get a job that would be lucrative enough to make me enough money to pay off my student loans and then also have extra money. That's a big gamble, right? That's a giant gamble. It's legal. I don't know why, but it is. So I mean, everything you do in your life is a risk. Is a gambling risk.
So what
about like tournaments though? Like game tournaments are really common. Esports tournaments, you pay a $25 or $5 buy-in and you try to win for the pot. Is that gambling? Should that be banned?
That's something that I think I remember about this article specifically. Is they made a big emphasis on like setting and getting the API
They did
to actually set up tournaments to actually make money. So like you would actually have to pay like a $5 entry fee into this tournament, which makes it, I guess, more legit.
Somehow it's more
or something.
legit,
Right.
yeah, but it's
Now
the same thing.
Yeah,
at the
it's
end
the
of the
same
day.
thing, but
it uses
there's
the
tournaments
matchmaking. It uses the matchmaking and like fairness stuff that that League of Legends uses in their own. Like it's their API. You know what I mean? So they are taking measures to make sure that they're minimizing whatever cheating or
they're
dishonest fucking usage.
They offer this interface for people to actually create these tournaments, and these people are taking advantage of it. Why not spend $5 and make a pool out of it? So people. And
how about we say there's either no such thing as gambling or everything is gambling, and either way,
I think that's correct.
Yeah, honestly, every time I walk out my front door and don't get hit by a
that's
fucking
what we've
bus,
come to. Yeah,
I win that gamble.
I won that. Like that's
Every day I wake up in the morning, it's like, woo, another win.
Right, like, I made it to work without dying. Blackjack, motherfucker. Yeah,
I mean, there's no other way to put it, but that's just how it is. The problem is that there are whales, and that's when everything gets out of control.
It gets predatory or whatever.
And people ruin it for everybody else. All of us hardworking people who wouldn't break our entire bank account to enjoy this service is busted by these people who literally go broke because they're willing to throw everything at it.
that's their own fault.
Yeah, indulgence.
Yeah, can't control the impulse or whatever. But
Gluttony, right? It's
to a certain degree, it's a sin. Sure. What is it? 7? What's going on here?
I don't know.
All right, we'll move on in that regard. I think I think that we came to a proper conclusion with that. Either everything is gambling or nothing is. Right.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Case closed.
No more loopholes.
That felt really good to me.
Yeah,
Like I like that we
cut and
came
dry.
to such like a really good like black and white conclusion on that. That was great. Next article and last main topic for the day. Ryan Bradley, who happens to write for Killscreen at
That
the
was
moment.
an easy name.
Ryan Bradley?
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God. At Killscreen, did a crowdfunded article over at Longreads that we all recommend that you check out. But we'll highlight some of the finer points. But honestly, we're going to use it as kind of a jumping off point for our own little rants and discussion as we are known to do. The article begins by sourcing a New York Times story all the way back in 1912 that documented the positive effect of allowing prisoners at the Leavenworth Penitentiary to play baseball. A simple game. Prisoners like this, and now and back then, were notorious for unruly inmates. Guards trying to keep control over all things, all aspects of everybody's routine at all times of the day. And they did notice and were shocked when they found out that by introducing some sort of recreation or like structured play, that inmates got really involved, and for a few hours out of the day, like people didn't have to worry about a riot or whatever horrible shit goes on in prisons when people aren't looking, that kind of thing. Okay.
Blood rage? What?
I wasn't going to go there, but that's fine. I felt like the article came with a certain amount of gravitas. So
I feel like you were dancing around it for a long enough period.
Okay.
It was free reign.
You did okay. We made it like 30 seconds into the description.
It's probably a record for us. Adam Lovell, the president of WriterPrisoner.com, took some notes from the Ryan, who wrote the article, and was asking to get in touch with some of these inmates that started talking about how games in the present day have made a difference as a form of recreation, as a form of escape, and as a form of just a way to spend time while doing time effectively. Adam Lovell, like I was saying, is the president of WriterPrisoner.com, and he's the guy who set up this website to kind of help pen pals, both incarcerated and not, let them communicate and offer some sort of release for prisoners. What he found out though is that, and what he was most curious about was what happens when you introduce, or like, I want to talk to prisoners that have played games outside of prison, or trying to play games in prison, and like how that's affecting their time as prisoners, or as convicted criminals, depending on how you look at it. But I think one of the most important questions about this entire topic really is, and we'll get to it in a second, but the vignettes from some of the experiences, it definitely humanizes some of these guys, I think, which is kind of important to remember. But at the same time, we're all kind of like, these guys are obviously criminals. They were convicted of a crime, hopefully rightfully, even if they were wrong in what they did. But
right. It doesn't make them less human. It just makes them,
it makes them accountable. Right. You know what I mean? And my question becomes like, should they be allowed to play video games?
I think playing video games is one thing, but being exposed to online games, so like an MMORPG where there are children playing also,
like Chronicles of Elyria,
right. Like theoretically, Chronicles of Elyria, or any other game with children that are potentially playing, right? Exposing them to younger people, letting them influence them almost, like in some ways. I mean, there's nothing to say that they.
You're getting way more specific than I was about to, but you raise a good point. I think. Like, I'm not like a criminal justice major or anything like that, but I think when it comes to the major question of like, should guys be allowed to play games at all, part of the prison system would like us to believe that it's about rehabilitation. Yes, about trying to like reintroduce at least people that aren't there for life sentences or whatever back into society at some point, instead of carving Brooks was here in a rafter before getting a job at a grocery mart, and having to ask permission to go to use the bathroom. I'm just
So getting people reacquainted with society, does that include video games?
I guess that becomes my question. You know what I mean? Like the whole idea of rehabilitation and whether or not video games like fits into that equation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't see a problem with video games in general. Online games, I think, are a little different.
From the way I understand it, and from this article, is that most of these guys, if they had access to any game at all, it was in like a structured kind of like computer lab, and it was more like typing games, like very educational
games.
Nothing like Halo, nothing like Call of Duty. No violent shit.
They said the games like Halo or Call of Duty are probably the worst ones to get, or the best ones to get would be like an RPG that takes you 100 hours to play, and something else I can't remember, but something that has like
true escapism,
more extensive gameplay than the same thing over and over again. Like Call of Duty, you're playing online. To play the same game over and over again. If you play an RPG, it's a story.
Right. They need to get. They should only put RPGs in. Here's my solution to the problem. Right. Let them play video games, but let them play MMORPGs where your character can end up in jail if you make bad decisions.
And you measure the rehabilitation by seeing if they decide to do those things.
Let them escape in the game, right? But if they're an upstanding citizen in Fable and they come out all glowy and shit, then probation.
So like basically like reopen the Ultima servers and let them them just create their own account, like Eve, for instance, like let them play Eve, right? Like how, or something like that, But
I think actually Fable is a fantastic example of like it's an RPG.
It's the good and evil thing,
and
right?
You get good and evil, yeah. Do they decide to kill their wife again and again and again?
Yeah. Oh my god! The guy who murdered his wife to get into prison.
He just keeps murdering her.
Did he make it through a playthrough without killing his wife in Fable?
Progress.
I don't know. I feel like video games are as much of an escape from reality as a book is, and I would argue, or a movie even. Like, people play video games to get out of their world. People watch movies to like experience a different, like,
I think there's a layer of
universe.
interactivity that takes it a bit farther than books or movies, but I agree with you.
It's the same direction.
I think it's the same thing. I enjoy watching movies more than I enjoy playing video games, even
Because you don't have to do anything.
Because I don't have to do anything. I can just fucking sit there.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not accusing you. I'm saying like, that's why I like it too. You know, like that's how I'm saying that.
So, like, would it be bad if they played, like, if they sat down and played Monopoly with each other instead of playing like Fallout 4?
Well, in Monopoly, you can end up in jail. So
true. Might be a touchy subject playing Monopoly.
I think the
Like,
immersion, though,
is
an
it different?
important piece here is like massive depression that comes with being in jail and being able to like play a game that takes you away from that.
Yeah, but
right?
playing Monopoly or the game
In
of
jail.
life does that.
In
also.
jail.
oh, the game of
You
life
get-
is the
you
fucking
get like,
worst.
Yeah, you get like what 6 hours out of the game of life. You can play Skyrim for like hundreds of hours
yeah.
before you run into the
and you can
problem
play
of
the Call of Duty
left of
campaign
content.
for 2 hours or something, and then be done with it. It's like,
Yeah,
I don't know. Like,
I think we're getting like RPGs, things that like bring their immersion and give them a chance to.
Yeah, but they're just going to wake up the next morning and play life again. Why not just give them a chance to play one game for 60 hours instead of the same game 6 times for 10 hours? I don't know. Like, is it a bad thing to give these guys video games for them to play?
Well, it depends. I'll follow that up with another question that might need to be answered. If we all agree that games, movies, books, but mostly games, because of the way that you interact with it, are a real escape from
They
from
can
a reality.
be a form of
the
escapism.
immersion,
Yes.
the immersion,
The immersion
pulls
of it
you away.
pulls you away from your reality.
It provides it. It doesn't have to be used that way, but it absolutely provides
Okay,
it.
so with that avenue, with that capability, we can do that in our free society whenever we want, outside of the jail system. We have the ability to escape from our shitty life if we think our life is shitty. Okay.
Right.
Do inmates have the right to also escape their reality, which is that they are in prison?
This is another tough question
So,
because like
yeah.
they're there for a reason, and that's to be
Right. So
to
that's
have
my
those
question
rights
to you
stripped away.
guys.
So I struggled with this one the whole time too, and I'll tell you, like even the worst criminals get an hour of yard time, right? Like every day, 1 hour of their 23 a day, like where they get to walk around and do something because it's whatever good for the body. Like no
good for
prison
the
wants
body, good for the
prisoner.
soul.
Okay, sure, but I struggled with this, and I'm not sure where I've landed to even up to now where like
I don't think I've actually come to
I haven't kind of like I get that there are guys that go to prison and probably actually want to reform, and there are like guys in this article that talk about like that were actually game design grads that have expertise with stuff like Illustrator and Photoshop and Maya and stuff like that can build assets and know how to code and stuff like that, and they've gone to jail for crime, like full on legitimate crimes. You know what I mean? So like, but they don't want to do that shit again. They want to reform themselves. They want to get like rehabilitate and get back into society. Why should that be kept from them? As opposed to the rapists who like hangs pictures of dead clowns and stuff like on his wall in the cell down the block.
I agree with that. Like, why would you further alienate somebody who wants to be?
But how do you make a distinction?
Who wants to get better?
How would you further like?
This is what's preventing me from landing on one side or the other. You know what I mean?
It's very clear to me. I think yes, you should allow these people to be able to play video games. I think maybe there needs to be some kind of restrictions on online multiplayer or something.
It should be a reward or something after like a month of good behavior.
No, I'm saying like maybe
I'm serious. Like
maybe they need some kind of entry level to actually be able to participate in normal society. We put them outside of normal society in the first place because they committed crimes, and for that reason they may not be allowed to participate in MMOs. But absolutely, they should have access to video games. They should be able to play them because it's a maybe I feel like they need a form of escape. I completely agree with rehabilitation. I don't necessarily agree with the death penalty. I don't think like you should give up on these people necessarily. But there are special cases. It's not cut and dry. But why would we further alienate these people if they're on a path to rehabilitation?
Right. Then re-release them to society after not rehabilitating them appropriately.
And not allowing them to like properly adjust to
but
what
that's it.
society's
It's like so you did 10 years of prison just playing Call of Duty the whole fucking time? Like that's not
Why? Well,
that's
what
not
if,
a punishment.
What
man.
if that got him addicted to Call of Duty such that he goes home, rents a 1-bedroom apartment, gets a simple job, and then plays Call of Duty all night instead of going out and murdering
pacifying
people?
somebody with video games? I think is
entirely possible, but I mean,
I'm not saying I agree with that. Just putting that out there.
No, I
Yeah.
agree, but like at the same time, it's kind of
what
like
we do.
Isn't that a better-
we've
yeah.
sent people theoretically to prison to punish them or make them reflect on their fucking crimes and hope or whatever. You know what I mean? So why are we giving them a form of?
They are reflecting on it. They're in there for 20 years. You're offering them 60 hours of escape to feel like normal people, so that they can better adjust with becoming real people.
Okay.
Like.
Okay.
And we all know being real people is escaping from being a real person.
Well, it's funny
what
that
society's like.
they actually bring that up. Like, there's a guy who's actually since been like, you know, gotten out and gone back, and he's like, honestly, he's like, prison like gave me so much anxiety. I was out on my toes all the time, ready for shit to jump off effectively all the time. That he's like, the only time I feel normal is when I'm playing like a high intensity game like Call of Duty or Halo. Where he's like, because like being around normal people in the everyday world is boring to the point where it gives me anxiety. And the only way that I can feel normal, like in the way I did back in jail, is if I'm putting myself in these kind of like high stress pressure situations by playing.
So he's just
like high fast paced, like
that sounds very
FPSs.
much like an ex-military guy becoming a mercenary in a way or something.
Sure,
Like they become
like doesn't know-
institutionalized
exactly.
to it.
right. He's got the PTSD and he's sitting around in an office. Yeah,
And that's almost a different problem. I would
It
argue.
is. It
Yeah.
is.
There's
Like
a
in
bunch.
this-
There's
Yeah.
a bunch rolled up. This
Yeah.
is a fucking messy thing.
In
you
the
know what I mean?
previous case, it's like can somebody please shiv me because I'm getting bored?
The ending of Borderlands, fuck me. Can I please get Rage in the Shower right now, because I fucking hate that game. You know what I mean? Like, no, I hear you. Like, there's a bunch of different things going on here, but I like to a certain degree, like, understand that as far as this article is concerned and the way we're concerned, like, nobody's sitting there playing Manhunt or or
Outlast.
Well,
like-
these-
or GTA on the regular. Like, what they're doing, they're playing educational games that are based off
Yeah.
of like a secure web
I think
browser. You know
this
what I mean?
also like this also meets another problem is the education level. Like people who aren't as educated, who don't have access to education, often can fall into lives of crime to come to achieve things right that they can't normally achieve without crime. They feel
They should just
So-
give them number crunchers.
yeah. So
Millie's
giving them
Math
games
House.
like
Frog fractions, yeah.
that teach them frog fractions. Oh my god. Yeah, but giving them access to educational games that can open up an avenue of education that they previously had thought closed.
I actually think
it's fantastic.
There needs to be a developer group that actually rises up for this specific purpose to rehabilitate individuals in prison with a gamification of rehabilitation. I think that would be I'm serious. I think that would be fucking amazing. Like you deliver it to them with the same polish and the same everything that comes out from these, I'll say III, not AAA. So these like higher quality indie games. You give them a real experience in a real large immersive world with a lot of hours of play, but actually make it effectively get you towards some type of state of rehabilitation where all of the actual gameplay is related to whatever it is that they actually want you to be. What is it that they're doing outside of the game capacity that is rehabilitating
I think
the
there might be something
prisoners?
to that.
Right, and actually apply that to the game specifically. Therefore, you can let them escape. They can have their escape just like we do every day, but they'll do it in a capacity that's beneficial for.
This sounds like this needs to be a game jam of some sort. No, I'm serious. Like,
Actually, yeah, like start
like if you were going to build a game for educational purposes that was like literally rated like PG or whatever, like you can't, there's no violence, there's no like weird sexual or like substance abuse undertones, anything like that, but you had to do it for prison inmates so they could actually like either learn something or gamifying rehabilitation, exactly like you said. Like this is a perfect idea for a game jam.
I think what you're talking about is Joe. I think you're talking about taking the experience of prison and putting it in a game.
No.
And okay.
No, I'm talking about developing a game that still lets a
system.
prisoner escape, but aids them in the rehabilitation. Whatever it is that they're learning on a daily basis in their sit downs and like their focus groups, or that's the wrong word.
I
don't like how much do you like Donald Trump?
I think the purpose of prison though is to make the inmates reflect, right? It's to isolate them, and I think that games
Not always. No, it's to rehabilitate them.
But the idea is to do that through giving them lots of time to reflect, right? To take them away and give them
That's certainly part of it.
in some part, but there are many hours that are spent outside of the reflection that are there to rehabilitate them.
because they kill themselves if they were just by themselves in there.
I just want to
all day.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, like, I think it's incorrect to like say that prison is there for them to reflect on it. I think it's I think the purpose of prison should be to better integrate people into society, and it's not.
I
it's not
agree.
necessarily achieving that.
I think
this is all a theory.
I think the current
like,
purpose
we're missing a lot of the problems.
Well, American prison was based on shame, is I think what I read or something like.
Well, like how
it's
very much throwing stocks or people put on display. You know what I mean?
My point is that I
Shame
think
people
that
in the-
video games can accomplish reintegration far better than locking them in a cell all day and
If
having
you
them
do
reflect.
if you do it
if
right,
they do it
I
properly,
agree.
yeah.
But I want to be clear before we move on because we can't
We
get
need to
away from
move
this
on,
topic.
but
Well, this is a great topic.
This was a great topic.
yeah, that's good.
Is that
Top-notch.
Joe was saying like it's got to be in this PG capacity? I actually don't believe that. If I were to develop something in this way, I'm sure that a lot of the rehabilitation that's happening in whatever sessions they have with counselor or something is about facing the things that you have done.
Maybe
and
maybe later
understanding-
iterations. I'm just talking about like entry level.
Sure,
like, game
but my idea there is that you can allow those kind of things because how are you going to come to terms with either your tendencies or things like that, the stuff
Unless
that got
you-
you there,
unless you
unless you actually have to
stare in the
face
face.
it.
Yeah, sure.
So I wouldn't be opposed to a game having that the capabilities of doing harm to people and things like that if they were built in a way that could actually help you when you were in that situation make the right decision.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's crazy.
I think it depends a lot on the situation of the prisoner in general. Like if you're one of those people that
Everything is case specific in this regard. I think for sure.
But I think video games are a nice avenue. They open up an interesting approach to prison rehabilitation that wasn't there.
We should start a prison game jam. I'm telling you.
I think it's actually a really good idea.
Me too. Yeah.
We have to sit down and we have a weekend to make a game for a prisoner. See what happens.
I'm pretty sure we should put more effort into it than a weekend, but that's fine.
Well, it's a game jam. It's like
Yeah, I know.
you need to limit it appropriately.
You're right. We
You
should
know
have a 3-week game jam where we don't sleep and we make games for prisoners.
Well, wait. How would you guys feel about the idea of getting funded by the United States government to make a game? Maybe that would work out. Okay.
Because I feel like they would try and be. They would probably be the worst publisher
Government
possible.
funding
Yeah,
stuff
my
like
publisher is the
producers. Yeah.
USA.
Right. So they're like, no, you can't put any of that in. Start over. They're just like they make
It would
unreasonable
have to be
demands.
like TVG. Like it would be basically the.
Right. You're yeah.
You're
you
a
need to make
huggable teddy
SpongeBob
bear.
with less questionable content. You know what I mean?
Less homosexual overtones.
Right. Well, or that,
or more.
I guess.
I haven't been upfront about it, dude.
All right. Lightning round. Let's do it. As many people may or may not know, this is the part of the show when we take a couple quick topics. We each give ourselves a minute, uninterrupted for the most part, to wax poetic, essentially, on this particular topic. There will be 2 today, and I will award points to all players, and our guest, Mr. Hitchcock, will award me points. We've only declared 1 winner in the history of this game. We've played this game a lot, many times.
Yeah.
So it's got to be
And
pretty special.
the winner so far.
Was Alice Taplin last week.
Yep.
Because her response to the "Who's your daddy" topic about father, like being trained in fatherhood,
It was fantastic.
figurative fatherhood,
Yeah.
I believe was her. She.
So she
You should go check it out.
she shall be mentioned.
So you should listen.
every
You should
lightning
listen
round
to
until
this
she-
and then turn
someone
this
else-
off and then go
Yeah,
listen to that.
dethrones her.
Right. So, what do you do when you need to weigh out some black market oregano for your discerning customers and your handy kitchen scale is broken? Well, you get yourself the latest Flappy Bird clone and have at it. A clever Redditor managed to get past those pesky iOS guidelines to help his herbologically inclined buyers and sellers. Let's celebrate the creativity here.
To be clear, exactly how it works, right?
Please.
The Flappy Bird clone is just that when you press on the
A weight on the screen. yeah.
it causes the bird to rise.
It's called
higher.
3D Touch, and it's
Right.
a brand new thing from Apple.
Yes.
So
Same with moving pictures.
if they tell you what the base is and what the top that the bird can fly weight is in some secret forum somewhere or something, then effectively you have a scale. Because you can turn off all the collision, I think, or something, and you're not really playing the game anymore. You just put something that way you can just put something on your phone and the bird will rise up to a certain level and you'll be like, okay,
Oh, that's my tear. That's what I subtract
This
from.
is an ounce, yeah, or
exactly.
whatever. Like,
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
So they manage, even though scales are not allowed because they're worried people will use them to, weigh oregano. I
And
don't
I'm
even know why
sure
we
that
can't
there
say
are
fucking
plenty
weed,
of
'cause
people
it's
out
legal
here
It's
that are
fine.
listening to this right now, and you have used the screen of your smartphone as a place to,
Separate stems and seeds, of
or yeah,
oregano?
just break up for something, or even maybe credit card shop a a line or two. I mean, you know.
A line of oregano?
Listen, I would
that
rather
seems inefficient.
If I was gonna do some sort of snorted drug, I would rather use the surface that's been up to my ear or my mouth, instead of a toilet seat in a public restaurant. All right, I'm just saying.
Okay.
That's my only argument.
I don't
for
know.
that.
The toilet seat. The top of the toilet seat.
Not that I've ever done that, and not that I've ever I'm not even condoning it. I'm just saying.
Toilet seat's the cleanest part of the
All right,
bathroom.
so effectively,
that's not true.
Effectively, they've found a loophole to not offering a scale app by doing this little Flappy Bird clone workaround, and now people can weigh stuff with their iPhone if they really want. At the moment,
for now,
that's where
because
we're at.
I guarantee you they're pulling this soon.
All right, so
if they haven't already.
What's the lightning round about?
So you get a minute to talk about why it's ingenious. Why, like by breaking down barriers in clever ways, like getting around, some might think that the iOS restrictions are a bit draconian, and
I'll go.
this, I want you to spend your minute how you want you to spend it. This is just a jumping off point for you to spend it as you see fit.
Right.
Mr. I guess. All right, Nick's going first. Right, here we go.
You can say Mr. Golish. It's okay. This reminds me of a few years ago. I think it was an iOS app again, and it was a flashlight app, and you could choose the colors of the app, the colors that you wanted to flashlight with your screen. If you put it in the right order, it becomes a Wi-Fi hotspot instead. And that was something that specifically was against the terms of use of Apple, because Apple's in charge of all their Apple stuff. But so people were breaking the rule by putting in red, green, yellow, blue, and suddenly your phone could become a Wi-Fi hotspot for your computer, for another phone. And they specifically had guidelines that said you may not create Wi-Fi hotspots from your Apple device because we're a bunch of a-holes. And
unless you're doing it through us.
Yeah, and this is similar to that, where they created a scale app. And honestly, when I heard about this first, I didn't put the weed or drugs thing in my head. It was more of why would people want to use a scale? Why would Apple restrict this? They're afraid of somebody's going to put something really heavy on their phone and break it.
It's a valid concern.
Right,
that's the first thing I thought of.
It's a valid concern. Yeah, just looking out for the good of the people, man. I gotta give you that.
It's
for being so selfless and so naive in such a cute way. I will award you 10,000 points because we're coming up on Christmas. 10,000 points, Mr. Golish.
Because we're coming up on Christmas.
How much?
I'm feeling generous.
I feel like you should be doing the 10 days of Christmas song points, but
10 days of Christmas. So which day of Christmas do you want?
Well, what day are we on? We're on what's the date? The 17th or the 16th? So we got seven more days?
Eight days left.
8 days left. So what do I get on the 8th day?
I don't know, but to Nate's question of what do you need to win, I think we gave Alice Taplin a bus full of pesos.
We did.
For her.
That's what she
so
wanted.
that's like
$3.
10 million.
No, that's
pesos?
$4. I'm pretty sure it's $4.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, who's next?
Yeah. Mr. Arroyo.
No.
Take a minute.
I think this one's kind of weird. The fact that there's even a restriction on scales is silly, because to say that I would not use it for any other purpose than to weigh fucking weed is weird. I have a scale. I have a kitchen scale because I find it 10 times more accurate than a cup, because that's not how mass works. When you put a cup of flour versus a cup of oats, it's not the same weight. And when you are...
Still a cup, though.
No, it's not... Yes, but when you convert that to grams and then you realize that they're not even remotely the same, it's frustrating, right? So I use a kitchen scale. Why would you discriminate against chefs in such a way that I cannot use my phone to weigh my flour? Instead, I'll also use it for weed, but that's a different story. I'm just saying, put it all under the same umbrella. Why? You're worried about one malicious act, and that's the reason why you don't let us do all the things that aren't malicious with it? That seems like restricting gambling.
That seems very fascist.
Very 1982.
There's one bad thing that could happen with this, so I'm not going to let it happen at all.
I will award you
2 turtle doves.
And
two turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree.
Thank you. Give me that part.
I want that bird, goddamn. I think you raised a good point. I think I'll take the next minute here and I'll tell you why.
I'm going to sell my turtle doves for 11,000 points.
Are they worth that much?
I don't think so.
I'll find a buyer.
Are the points pesos? Because
we don't know yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Joe Erskine.
So I agree with you, Joe, to a certain extent. It's like, how are you going to ban a certain type of app when we see things happening with, like, you know, the proprietary Messenger app for iOS get used for all sorts of shady shit all the time. Like, I see fucking posts on Reddit all the time with people talking to their dealers in the first place. Neither one of them is using their fucking phone for a fucking scale. I guarantee it. So what makes, you know, why is having a Flappy Bird clone built as a fucking oregano scale? Oregano. I stress oregano.
It's weed.
I don't know what you're talking about. That why is that made all of a sudden so very bad? Why is that criminalized? Why is that marginalized? Very much to your point, Joe. So I agree with that very much. At the same time, I agree with the fact that, or not that I agree, but I find it very clever. I appreciate this kind of ingenuity. I appreciate that when people set up rules that, like, the first people to respond are tech people or engineers or software developers. Yeah. They turn around and they're like, you know what? This is why technology keeps growing, because, like, people figure out, like, workarounds, and then they build entire fucking industries and $1 million companies based around these fucking workarounds. So I'm not saying that this fucking Flappy Bird oregano scale is going to become the next, you know, Facebook or anything, but, you know, I this kind of ingenuity is what keeps this ball rolling, and it's really fun to see, like, fun shit like this happen.
I think my favorite kind of ingenuity is the one app where it scores you based on how high you can throw your phone up into the air. So you actually take your phone, you throw it up as high as you can, and you get, like, all these points.
Oh, you mean the idiot test?
And then and then you forget to catch it, and it's like you don't actually get a score.
Well, you don't get to. You have the
There's a couple more yards to win if you let it hit the ground.
I think it was an iOS exclusive.
Hey, Nick, did you know if your hand is bigger than your face, you have cancer?
Yeah.
Do you know that?
I heard about that.
Yeah, really?
But he doesn't want to. All right. How many
do I score you?
You have to score him.
I'm going to give you one nug.
Of oregano.
All right.
Final
so
minute.
I agree. Like, I have two problems with I don't remember what the topic was, but of Apple saying I can't use my phone as a scale. First of all, there's the open problem that, like, if you provide hardware for me, I can do whatever the hell I want with it. You're not liable for it, and I own it now. It's mine. So if I want to use my phone as a scale, if it has a capacity, why the hell can't I use it as a scale? It doesn't make any sense, right? It's the same with, like, laptops. Like, if I'm going to use my laptop to break into the Pentagon, you can't tell me I can't. You can tell me I can't break into the Pentagon, but you can't say, like, you can't provide laptop security that. Okay, well, that kind of breaks down. But, like, secondly, this is the bigger one. Is weed's completely legal here in Washington, so why can't I weigh it on my phone?
National company.
Well, yeah, but I'm in Washington. Like,
everybody else can use it to weigh oregano.
Yeah,
as it was
like,
intended.
It's legal places, and it's becoming legal in more places. So I don't like. It just seems weird that they would say, well, because it's illegal because weed is illegal in some other state, you can't use your phone as a scale for weed.
Do you know you can weigh other drugs?
This is why I feel like Apple's more about the, like, don't put things on your phone to crush it kind of. That's why.
Right. Or I think agree.
I think Apple's more about, like, we want to cover our own asses. So if we smell something fishy about any one of your apps, we will come up with a clause in our EULA that will prevent you from making it, or at least from us distributing it.
You should award him, like, a kilo of something.
I award you a kilo of nugs.
What?
Of oregano.
I don't know where we're going with this.
Delicious.
Anymore. All right.
Next. All right. Final lightning round topic for the evening. Hideo Kojima has finally escaped the clutches of his former overlords at Konami. In case you haven't heard, he's opened his own studio, Kojima Productions. It's aptly named. It's hopefully the end of this long and sordid tale. We're going to speculate on the possible partnerships that he passed on to go solo, and maybe what we're trying to expect or would like to see from the new endeavor from Kojima-san. I'm taking the first minute, apparently. Okay, first of all, I don't know if you listened to the last episode, we talked about the Kojima thing and the whole Game Awards announcement and blah, 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 blah. I am still not unconvinced that this isn't just some huge marketing stunt. That being said, there was a video that came out, and it showed some Sony people and Kojima talking and agreeing to the fact that they are excited about the new partnership and new properties and the new games that they are going to make. And there's going to be a lot of money involved. I think it's going to be a very long time until we see another Kojima game. I think the prospect of something like that is interesting. The prospect of him doing something other than Metal Gear is very exciting. That's what I'm most curious about. I don't know what I expect it to be. I think maybe not having expectations is the best way to go about this. I'm not sure, but I'm glad. This is going to sound stupid, but that we have something else to talk about in this fucking show for a while, other than the Kojima thing. I'm glad he's on his own 2 feet now, and he's got his own company. Like, I feel like this is a situation that's been 30 years in the making, so I'm happy for him, and I'm happy to see what comes out of it.
Should I give him points first?
Yeah.
Okay, I think you get 1 fuck Konami.
I get it.
Fuck Konami? No? Okay.
There's a meme.
There's a GIF
Warner.
going around. Yeah, there's a GIF going around with Kojima and talking to Sony
And they
guy.
just fake the
And-
subtitles
and
at the end.
they just make up their own subtitles and at the end they're like, and fuck Konami. Ah, yes, fuck
Pretty
Konami.
sure they faked the
fuck Konami.
subtitles for that entire thing. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I'm
Well, I don't know. I think they cut right through the bullshit for most of it, but in the end,
I was
it's
awarded
kinda-
1 fuck Konami.
Yeah.
Okay.
You get 1 fuck Konami.
That's pretty
One
good.
Konami. Fuck.
Disclaimer: this does not reflect our feelings about Konami.
No.
No,
From the Chico's
no.
podcast
It was a meme reference.
It is a meme reference.
Strictly
Therefore, not libel or slander. Anyway,
right. So
Who's next? You're up?
we'll go around
I'll
the
go
horn.
next. Yeah. Oh gosh. Oh, now I'm looking at the timer. Okay. I think going back to the meme of Kojima talking to the Sony rep, I think it's going to be interesting to see which side wins out, because Kojima's known for his fantastic, like, well-crafted games, and Sony is known for pushing things through as fast as possible and as low budget as possible. And Kojima hasn't necessarily stuck to budget the best. So I think it's going to be an interesting, like, I don't know if Sony is going to finally say, you know what, you're good enough, we'll give you whatever money you need, you just make us a blockbuster. Or if Kojima is going to say, you know what, you're paying me enough, I'm just going to push through a game that is good enough for, that comes in under budget and on time.
Wow.
So it'll be interesting. I'm not saying necessarily that side's going to win, but I'm just interested to see, like, who comes out on top in
Which
this
tug of
brawl.
war,
Yeah. So. Which tug of war? Do that tug of war motion again, Joe. With one hand on each side, a circular hand on each side.
That's the picture that we
Stroking towards.
needed.
Yeah.
Stroking, pulling.
Are you fucking Konami right now? Is that what this is?
I-
Fuck Konami.
God, that was.
Wait, so I have a dumb question. Just before we continue, does Konami have rights to Fox Engine, or is that Kojima Productions?
I don't know that. I couldn't answer that.
That's like a big deal. Like, because if he's got to spend a bunch of time like developing a whole new engine, that's
I don't think
crazy.
Kojima developed the engine. Though.
Yeah,
No,
he's
he's
not a
got a bunch of
developer.
people. No, I'm just
He's-
saying, like, he was part of it though.
He's
like,
brilliant in terms of, like, his
design
game
aesthetic and
design.
everything.
Yeah, and
no,
you
I
can
know.
game
But
design.
and a lot of the
any
people
game,
that worked
any
at
engine.
Konami that worked on Metal Gear Solid and worked on Fox Engine were let go as well.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they'll are coming on board.
So you
with
think
Kojima.
they're remaking?
I know he needs to score.
Kojima's-
I'm genuinely curious about this. So, what? Don't look at me like that.
Calm down,
Yes,
Joe.
I'm just worrying. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm going to award you
Can I have 2 fuck Konamis?
3 Fultons, 1 Quiet, and a tank.
What kind of tank?
Metal Gear Solid tank?
American.
It could be a tank top. It could be like a Russian M1 or something.
I would like to add a Revolver Ocelot mod, dancing as quiet.
Thank you.
In the rain?
In the rain. Yeah.
Okay.
Taking off pants that he's not actually taking off.
Mr. Golish, you have 1 minute.
I don't even know what really to say about this.
You don't have to say a lot if you don't want to.
Let's see. Konami, Kojima. What's the difference really? But
Let him go.
I think you're just
Let him go.
saying stuff. now.
I really am just saying stuff like, okay, so he's leaving, he's starting a new company, everything. I think I made it clear last time that Konami is the Andy Kaufman of, or Kojima is the Andy Kaufman of the games industry, and the joke's on us. Like, if he is really like, this is a huge stunt, then, fuck it, I don't give a shit anymore. Like, I don't know, like, Kojima.
You don't have to
Kojima
take your
stuff,
time.
I'm trying to take a whole minute, but I don't.
You don't have to.
Why should I care? He's created one great game that changed my life, and every game after that has been a disappointment, in my opinion. So I think they've been great, but it's
Except for the ones that you don't care about.
It's except for the ones that have been at our expense, which has been everyone except for the first one that I enjoyed.
Oh my god. By first one, you mean the NES Metal Gear?
No,
Yeah.
I don't. I mean the one that had
Metal
the
Gear
voice
Solid.
acting for the PlayStation.
You're talking about Metal Gear
I
Solid?
just wanted to be a pedantic asshole.
I understand.
You know,
I know it wasn't the first one, but it was the one that changed my life.
Let's establish the
other
fact that your
games.
minute is up, first of all, and you were aware of that, but we all just started talking at you. I'm going to award you one NES cartridge and a working NES system. How's that?
That sounds
That's worth a
disappointing.
small fortune.
Sounds disappointing.
Also, a small bottle of rubbing alcohol and some Q-tips so you can get the game working.
How about, can I get some cigarettes
And
that
a
actually
t-shirt
hurt
to
my
both of
character as I smoke them, but they reveal the lasers? Can I get a pack of cigarettes?
Sure.
That's pretty good.
And a pause menu that you have to pause. To,
Yeah, and a
That's a
ketchup
PT
bottle.
thing.
Can I have a ketchup bottle, too, please?
That's pretty good.
So congratulations on your winnings, Mr. Arroyo. I think you made some good points, though.
Okay.
I did.
Lo and behold, Mr. Kojima himself is leaving to make his own company, and god damn it if he doesn't name it fucking Kojima Productions, because boy does he love to put his goddamn name on shit. And you know, I mean,
He's earned the right.
At some point, you become a brand, right? But you don't have to shove that brand down my throat or in other orifices, because it's not really fair to me. And I wish I don't know why it is, but I wish that he would have just branched off and made something different. I'm surprised Fox Engine wasn't called Kojima Engine. That would have made more sense. Maybe he would have been able to take it with him from Konami if that was the case. I am excited to see what he's going to do, but I'm kind of starting to fall into Nick's boat here where I just don't give a shit anymore. If it's good, it's good, and if it sucks, it sucks. Am I anticipating anything? Fuck no. I don't care. When something comes out, maybe I'll play it. That's it. That's it.
Okay.
Like, go make a game, buddy.
You're done. I will award
You're done,
you
Joe.
a sack full of coal made of ambivalence. And 1,000 points just so you can feel like you're registered on the board. All right? No winner today. No winner today.
Wait, how much is a kilo of oregano?
Kilo of coal.
Of
I
oregano.
don't know. Why don't you use your fancy new Flappy Bird app and tell me? Kojima thing. I agree. I think it's time to move on. I'm glad that we did this as a topic for the lightning round, so we can finally fucking put this shit to bed.
It's not to bed yet.
Oh, you think there's more coming?
Yeah, of course there is.
Next
All right.
episode, he's gonna be.
Well, then maybe we're embargoing ourselves.
He's gonna break ties with Sony in like 6 months when he finds out he's not gonna get the budget he wants. Like, dude, Nate's point was the
$100 million.
fucking best.
No, I
in this
agree.
whole
You did a good job.
thing.
I
He didn't
liked yours
unseat-
too, Nick.
He
Not
didn't
one of them,
unseat
so.
Alice Tablin, but close.
It was well done. No, I appreciate
half a bus full of pesos for you.
half a bus full. Oh God.
plus a kilo of oregano.
Anyway, all right. I think we're done here. Episode 76 comes to a close. Nate, always a pleasure, buddy.
Yeah. Cheers.
I will cheers to that.
I don't
have
really-
gentlemen. Pleasure to see you. I hope everybody's holiday out there is awesome. We're gonna do our best to get you an episode out early next week before your holiday sinks in. At least from a Christmas standpoint. If you're celebrating otherwise, then we hope you enjoy. Regardless. Thank you for being here. Let us know what you think. Hit us up, cheatcodespodcast.com. Find the Facebook page. Find the Twitter. Get in on the conversation. Let us know what you think. Thanks again to Nate for hanging out with us. It was long overdue, at least for me. It's good to see you, buddy.
One more time, where people could stalk you personally on Twitter and
Yep.
also Soulbound.
Well, mostly IRC is where we're always on. All the devs are always on IRC. It's Quake Web Chat. We're on hashtag or Octothorpe, Chronicles of Elyria, also chroniclesofelyria.com, and I guess we also have Twitter, Chronicles of Elyria.
And you
Facebook,
personally, in
Chronicles of
case
Elyria.
people want to be like,
Oh, if you
didn't
get on-
agree with your lightning round minute, I'd
you
like
get-
to talk to you.
If you get on IRC, I'm going to be on IRC.
What is your Twitter handle?
Oh, I like at Trip. I don't Twitter. I don't tweet. I'm not a Twitter twat. I don't. I don't Twitter.
Okay. Find him
On IRC.
in the
On
back.
IRC, I
IRC,
yeah.
I guess.
Let's go
Enjoy
back.
that, guys.
Take a trip with me to the 90s. We're going
Yeah.
on IRC.
You and all the guys from that, the USA show. What's that?
Yeah.
The
Did
hacker
that-
show?
Did everybody in your chat talk about how Slack was down, but they were still talking that 1 week when Slack was down?
No, we don't
'Cause they use
Slack,
IRC.
dude. We
They use IRC. I know.
IRC.
They probably look at it like
Dude.
Slack. Plebs who use Slack. We use IRC like
Yeah.
power users
I
because
know.
Dude.
PC master race.
Basically, except it's on the web now, so it's not really power user.
Yeah, great.
But
All right.
it's web API. But, Joe,
Yeah,
I love you.
I love you too, buddy.
I missed you.
I miss you too.
Yeah. Hey, Joe,
Yeah.
I love you.
Oh. Oh, but he didn't miss me. He missed me.
No.
He didn't
Hey,
miss
Nick.
me.
He saw you on Saturday
Hey,
for Nate's birthday or Nick's
hey,
birthday.
hey.
Right?
When are you gonna play dinosaurs?
We're good. All right.
We need to play.
Stay tuned for a new episode coming next week. I think next week's probably gonna be a core panel, but we have more great guests coming to you in the new year. We got big announcements to make too. We got a bunch of awesome shit planned for 2016, you guys. So stay tuned. Thank you very much. I hope your holidays are going great. Thanks for spending a little time with us. Say hi to your family for us, especially your moms. No, I'm just kidding.
Cuss the line, dude.
Yeah, that's probably too much. May the force be with you. Enjoy the movie. We won't be spoiling it here.
Nothing but Star Wars.
I still had to do it.
All three of you should just do unsync it. Yeah. Don't make me destroy you.